in quite a relaxed place. Right, so we're already recording, but what do we want to...
You get your drugs in, and I will say... Welcome to Microphone Chat with Adrian and myself, Christian Payne. That's Adrian Storey, otherwise known as Uchajin Photo on Twitter, and I'm Documentally on Twitter. We are adorned with mics.
We are indeed. Two of the newest wireless radio mics. Actually, not radio mics. I don't know why I keep calling them that. They're
Wireless
actually
mics.
wireless mics, yeah.
I've got the Rode WirelessGo, clipped very visibly here, and you are using the slightly more subtle lav mic into Sennheiser's wireless offering.
I'll just show you that. Hopefully that one.
On a belt clip.
This little baby here.
The kit, the ENG kit, also comes with an XLR adapter, so you can have a handheld mic or other microphone plugged into it. You had lots of questions about this because you got very, very excited when this came out. What were those questions?
Well, I'm just interested to hear what that internal mic sounds like for a start, because I believe, as we've discussed, it's the same capsule as the Rode lavs themselves. It's kind of visible like that. Obviously, you wouldn't probably wear it quite like that if you were recording an interview.
So
you may...
let me do a couple of things. First of all, let me drop it down here into this pocket. Now, that's a lot less visible, but there is a visible logo. What would you do with that logo? Would you leave it?
No, I'd put a piece of tape over it. As much as I love Rode, or you can't really advertise Rode in every interview. So I might put a piece of tape over it. So I'm interested to see what that sounds like.
That looks a little bit like a pager now, though.
Yeah.
So as long as you are doing a 1980s period piece,
Yep.
no one will notice.
Also, I'm interested to know how much high frequency we lose if we clip it onto your... I believe it's a Motorhead t-shirt.
Let me do that now.
Underneath your shirt, so it's very well hidden. So it's actually hidden, and see how that sounds, and then we can because I think in terms of the size and the weight of it, it looks amazing. Battery life we will discuss in a second, I guess, but that was my primary concern.
Now I'd imagine that what with this being so fiddly, hang on, excuse the sound effects.
That's not quite what I had in mind.
Well, it's underneath the shirt.
Okay, there we are, underneath the shirt, but that's good.
Always whinging. So, with this under the shirt, I mean, I'd put a lav mic in, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I would probably, but I'm talking about, you know, the whole point of that system from Rode seems to be its sort of grab and go ability, hence the name, I believe.
Yeah.
And so the being able to just clip it on someone quickly to grab something and use it in a more paced set down interview setup where sometimes you want to hide the mic, it'd be interesting to see how it sounds underneath there.
So this is me doing a quick test. The dog can't even see it now, it's that well hidden. I would probably clip it onto a pocket within the external shirt or something, so it is a little bit more stable than what I've done. It also has the added benefit of a little bit of wind protection with it being under the shirt. I had a little bit of a hiccup with the little spoffle, the little mic shield, didn't I?
Yeah, that I think is not the best design I've ever seen. I understand what they were trying to do, but it seems that when you tried to put it on earlier, you damaged the screen because of the way the clips work.
There's a screen over the internal microphone, and even with the white clip showing it very visibly, when I went to force it on a couple of different times, there's no very easy way to get it on. The clip went boom and dented the screen on the microphone. It doesn't seem to have done any damage to the microphone, which is great, but it makes me want to just put a lav mic in. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I wonder if the audio will continue. Let me have a go.
So while you do that, I'll just carry on talking about the mic that I'm wearing, which is, I can't remember the exact name of this Sennheiser system, the XS something, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So these are the two competing. I mean,
WirelessGo is really easy to remember.
Exactly.
The XSW-D.
Yeah, I know. Well,
not so much.
Well, we were discussing this earlier. The first, I mean, important things to talk about are the price. I mean, this is going to be. It's on Amazon for like £179, 199 US dollars.
Pause.
Oh, we don't pause.
Am I still audio? Only because there'd be a massive...
Yeah, well, that's quite good. We want that. We'll frighten people. How much is this retail, this Sennheiser?
It's about 50 quid more.
Right, okay.
But I think that might be because it comes with stuff.
Right, yeah. No.
I mean, you can't argue with the price point of this. It is ridiculously affordable.
No.
I will not say cheap because it doesn't feel cheap. So I think Sennheiser has got a challenge when it comes to convincing people. For me, a big benefit is, could you just go and check the receiver is actually, why don't I do it? I'm just like ordering Adrian around. I'm just going to check that the receiver is doing all the, it's doing all the lovely receivery stuff. I didn't need to get up. That's what I like about the Rode. The fact that I don't have to record a test piece, put my headphones on, check, which I have had to do with the Sennheiser. The fact that there is a meter on the receiver is a huge...
Yeah, it's a massive plus, to be honest. For me, as a working cameraman, DOP, it's a massive plus, being able to see it. I don't, oftentimes I need to have a visual confirmation as well. I mean, I think there is some sort of flashy light visual confirmation on the Sennheiser, right?
Yeah.
But it's... that could be a tiny little bit of level enough to make it flash, whereas on the road you can actually, at least you can see a level on it, which I think is a really big plus.
It is true.
They claim roughly the same operational range.
The Sennheiser apparently has a little bit more range, and everybody's getting hung up on range. I could walk off now. Let me walk off. You guesstimate how far away I'm walking. But I would say this isn't important.
The answer is always not far enough. But
no. So,
and you're hidden by trees.
I mean, when have you ever done an interview or captured audio from someone when they're this far away? I've actually got my back to the camera. My back to the camera is going to cause even more. I worked out about 20 to 30 feet of added space the moment you turn your back to the camera.
Have we tried it with this mic too?
Yeah.
So I'll go and walk off as well.
Other side of the tree.
Other side of the tree. I don't know, whatever that is, 20 metres maybe, something like that. I'm back to the camera now, so hopefully you can still hear me. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm guessing you probably can. We are in a nice sort of villagey bit.
Wittering like a loon back there. So
there's not a lot of Wi-Fi interference around here. I've been using Rode's Filmmaker kit wireless mic for quite some time now.
At shows as well.
At shows, and I've almost never had any kind of interference problems with it.
That's what I'm thinking, that we don't need to necessarily worry about range. And now they're doing this channel hopping, you don't need to worry about interference really. I
don't really have any problems with it myself. And I don't know anyone else who uses it who's had any problems with it specifically. Do you use wired systems or wireless systems when you're shooting your documentaries? Wireless usually, because having a trailing wire is just annoying, and there's no appreciable loss in sound quality. And it should be noted that today we are recording straight into the camera and also into your sound device's Mix Pre 3,
so to make both the microphones work simultaneously, we've taken the receivers of the Sennheiser and the Rode, plugged them into the Mix Pre 6, and then we're using a cable from the Mix Pre 6 into the line input of the Lumix GH4 for the nerds out there. Yeah. Is this a kind of standard range for you?
Yeah, I mean, this is entirely reasonable range-wise. This is what sort of distances I shoot from the cameras, 6 feet away maybe? 6, 7 feet, something like that. That's pretty normal for the sort of range I'd shoot an interview at.
And roughly how much did you spend for your first wireless microphone setup?
A lot more than £179, let me tell you that. And it also, interestingly, has a name that I cannot to this day remember. It was a Sony system. It was the UDPW LGBTQ
Sony,
plus or something. It was
said Sony. Go on,
I think it was £700 or something like that. And I mean, it was very good. It was actually a radio mic system, so it worked on radio frequencies.
some countries.
So the problem with that was I bought mine in Japan and I sold it when I left Japan, because technically it wouldn't have been illegal to use it on those frequencies here or in America.
And more often than not, you can be using it on a frequency which is already cluttered.
Yeah, and not just the illegality of it, the fact that there may well be a lot more interference on those bands in other countries. So the fact that you never ever have to worry about that in terms of whether you're being legal in the country where you are, or the fact that they're built to work on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, so that's the same everywhere. So if they work in England without interference, they'll work in America without interference, or Japan, or wherever you are. So that's definitely a plus point.
So for me to summarize, it is literally turn these on and they're good to go. Once you've done the initial sync, which is normally just pressing and holding for a little bit longer, both of these microphones seamlessly connect and do the job. I think whether you decide one against the other is going to be, number one, price. Number two, or depending on how really funny you are about the audio, the slight differences. Now, I'm looking forward to hearing both lav mics going into these devices, because when it comes to using the internal microphone against the Sennheiser lav mic, I do prefer the slightly richer tone of that
absolutely
microphone.
Yeah.
So now I've got the Rode Pro lav in, I'm looking forward to listening back and seeing if there's any difference at all.
I think that's definitely something to be concerned about, and we always want to capture the best audio we can and the best quality video we can, but it's a similar argument to if this video is going to YouTube, right? And most people are going to watch it probably on their phone, probably not turn their phone sideways. The rest of them are going to watch it on their computers, maybe, or a small screen laptop.
People are actually going to watch it.
Well, okay, but what I'm going on to say is that, there's no point in us shooting it on a Red in 8K if that's the distribution format. So similarly, whilst I agree this Sennheiser mic probably does sound better than the internal mic on the Rode WirelessGo. The WirelessGo sounds good. It's not like it sounds terrible. It's not as good as this.
Yeah, I was just getting really anal around the lovely tone,
and of course, you want to get the best you can, but for a lot of things, good is good enough. So I think that for me makes that a system very, very attractive, because I can just clip it on, walk away, and it's done. I like this system too. I mean, I think this is, I don't have a problem with the Sennheiser. For me, the form factor and the sort of simple clip it on, there you go, cover up the Rode logo, sorry Rode, but I'm not advertising you constantly when I'm shooting everything. Cover up the Rode logo, clip it on, that's it, you're done. You don't need to faff about putting wires down inside people's shirts. Sometimes that can get a bit uncomfortable, especially if it's a woman. Do you mind if can you pass this cable down? You've got to get them to do it. It slows everything down oftentimes.
Yeah, everybody's personal space is their personal space, and I've also, it can take a lot longer. Yeah. When someone says, "How long is this going to take?" It depends how quickly you can put your own microphone on.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't talked much about battery life. So to summarise again, the proof of the pudding is going to be in actually using it in the field, wouldn't you say? Both of these devices can be powered whilst in operation. I wouldn't have a problem now if it was the end of a 7-hour shoot and I'd accidentally forgotten to turn the devices off and they're not going into any kind of standby, which we were talking about this earlier, and you rightly said, well, they shouldn't. They should just be on and stay on. Last thing you want is for it to go to sleep and you have to reactivate it. So a day shooting is potentially going to be longer than the 7-ish hours stated on these devices. So being able to plug in a small external battery will not only give it a boost, but you can power it simultaneously whilst recording, which I think is great.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because I mean they're so small that like the addition of like one of those tiny little from the pound shop USB batteries in my pocket now to power this isn't going to be a huge problem. It's still smaller than other wireless solutions I've used, and it may not be necessary. Yeah. So I mean, I think that it's a really interesting time for this kind of technology, because this is really making a difference.
These are small enough to stick on a drone.
Yeah.
and actually ensure that you're getting decent sound of the...
I was going to say, full disclaimer, that's probably not a good idea. It's very, very noisy.
Only if you're sending drones into covert places.
Well, yeah, a very quiet zone.
Yeah. Great. So I reckon that's as much as we could possibly test at this stage in the game.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching, if you're still here.